told me when the Alonso to Aston announcement was made last summer that 7 months later I would be making this video as a serious question, I would have asked what you were on. But here we are. 2 races into the 2023 season, a season where Aston Martin have appeared at the front from absolutely nowhere. For once in his career, Fernando Alonso, a man known for his terrible career moves, has made a good career choice. And it begs the question, can he win that elusive 3rd title with Aston Martin? Aston Martin in the first 2 races proved that right now they're the 2nd best team on the grid. And this coming after being at the back of the grid really at the start of last season. And to their credit, they made a great recovery through the season last year, coming through to be challenging Alfa Romeo for 6th in the Constructors come the final few races. Of course, they lost back through countback on that one, of course, unfortunately for the Silverstone-based team. And now, over the winter, they've made a huge leap with the AMR23. A pretty different looking car in terms of design to what the AMR22 was. And I'm not an engineer or an aerodynamicist or anything, so I'm not going to go further on that train of thought, because aside from being able to see that their car this year is pretty different to last year's, I know nothing about that kind of thing. On the car side of things, it's all gonna depend not so much on how they develop this year's car, because as I said in my Ferrari video the other day, God knows if anyone can challenge Red Bull for the championships this year, but it'll all depend on how they manage in the coming years and if they can sustain this level of being up at the sharp end. Because on the driver's side of things, Alonso doesn't show any signs of slowing down anytime soon. He really is proving that age is literally just a number. Fernando Alonso knows how to win races. He knows how to win championships, having taken 2 F1 World Championships back-to-back in 2005 and 2006 with Renault, becoming at the time F1's youngest world champion. But in his F1 career, he scored over 2,000 points and stood on the podium 100 times, with 32 of those 100 podiums being race wins. And on that, I just saw a stat on Twitter that several drivers, their 101st podium was a win. So next podium for Alonso, a race win. And on that, yes, it has been almost 10 years since his last win at the 2013 Spanish Grand Prix, and F1 has never seen a driver win a race after they've made 300 race starts. But Alonso has proven he can still fight up at the front and score podium finishes, finishing P3 in both races so far this year, after a bit of penalty screw-aroundery in Saudi Arabia, that is. But he's still got the fight in him, and he's still got that hunger to claim a 3rd world title. So with Alonso still up for the fight and still able to fight, I feel that just leaves, as I said, the team. And Lawrence Stroll is serious about winning championships. That much is clear to see. He's an ambitious man, and a man with a lot of money, which in a sport that reeks of money, I suppose will help. I know, budget cap, cost cap, but my point remains. Now, I said before that it'll depend a lot on how well the team can sustain this level of being at the front. The thing that's going to help is that they're in the midst of building a brand new factory that will, according to Autosport a couple months ago, will be ready in May, with the nearby wind tunnel opening in 2024. And team principal Mike Crack has said that the new factory will be a game changer for the team, for team dynamics and logistics. And the team's technical director Dan Fowles has also said that the new open plan office design will make a big difference to internal communications, and also mentioned that the new building will contribute to cost savings. And you know, in this cost cap era that we're in, if you can save money elsewhere, that could mean money that can go towards another upgrade or two, which means performance, which means lap time, and potentially podiums and wins in that. Every team on the grid wants to be able to make that jump to get up to the sharp end, but it's a jump that is arguably the most difficult one to make in Formula 1. Take McLaren, they've not been able to do it yet. They were close, but they weren't able to do it. But Aston Martin are managing to do it. They have ambitions, and I do think that if they can keep this up in the coming years and keep up with the likes of the Red Bull, the Ferrari, and the Mercedes in terms of, development and all that kind of stuff, and if they can keep at the top, then they can challenge for championships, especially with Fernando Alonso, who I do think, if Aston Martin can keep their shit together, he can take that 3rd title with the Silverstone-based team if they keep up this momentum. He's still got that fight in him, and it helps that he knows how to get absolutely everything out of a race car. On this train of thought, need I say more than 2012 when he was driving for Ferrari in that god-awful F2012. In a car that didn't belong anywhere near a championship fight, he dragged it to the final race decider against Sebastian Vettel. Bit of a side note, but I cannot be the only one wondering what he could have achieved in 2012 had he had a car that was as good as the others at the front. But what do you think? Do you think Fernando Alonso can win a third world championship from Aston Martin? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Drop a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new to keep up to date with all my Formula 1 content, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.